Last week, it was very cool to watch Monday Night Raw, and then all of a sudden, at the beginning of the show, Triple H announces four of the top NXT stars heading to Monday Night Raw. And I thought that it was crazy for those stars to show up, but at the same time, they're trying to find some way of boosting ratings up. I guess that's what the deal is. So they go ahead and decide that they're going to go ahead and bring these four stars. The same four stars that appeared in the halftime heat that happened just a couple of weeks ago. Now, in my view, I think that having these NXT stars over there, it's good, but I'm kind of hoping that they were just there just to be there, and then they go back to NXT until the time is right for them to actually make their appearance. So there hasn't been really any sort of idea of what Triple H was trying to do. The word was Vince McMahon had no clue that Triple H made the call. And I think another thing I heard was something about, I guess, Triple H didn't approve of it, or Vince McMahon didn't approve of it. There were so many things I was hearing. The superstars that appeared were Aleister Black, Ricochet, Tommaso Ciampa, and Johnny Gargano. Four of the top superstars, and two of them are champions. Tommaso Ciampa being the NXT champion, and Johnny Gargano being the North American champion. Now, while it was good that they appeared on Raw, and while it was good that they showed up, and you basically had, I saw Aleister Black take on Elias. Great match. I think Aleister Black did a tremendous job. You had Ricochet appear and, went out and saved Finn Balor and everything. And that was a great thing to look at. And then also you had DYI. You had Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano appear and did what they did as a tag team against the Revival. And they did a tremendous job. And I think it was, I don't know if it boosted up ratings. It probably did. It probably didn't. But it was good to see those stars there. And while it's funny that they had some of the other stars there, like the ones that they called up before, Heavy Machinery was there, Lacey Evans was there, I believe EC3 was there as well. And I believe there was another superstar that was supposed to have been there. I believe it was Lars Sullivan. I don't know the story behind that. I think that went out the window because of some stuff that was going on. So they appeared on Raw. Not these superstars that I'm talking about just now. I'm talking about the four that we're talking about. They appeared on Raw and they did a tremendous job. And then here comes SmackDown, and automatically the first thing I said was, okay, if they do SmackDown Live, and if they're going to have those same superstars appear on that show, then that's good. Because it's going to show me, it's going to show everyone that the NXT stars are going to be there to show up. Now, if they choose to move the stars over from NXT to Raw or SmackDown, then they gotta improvise. They gotta find ways to get them to go over to the main roster. Of course, it was great to see Aleister Black take on Andrade. Well, that's his name now. They sort of changed it up and everything, which I can understand why, because you know while it's a long extended name, and I think that was the reason for the change of the name. Seeing Andrade and Aleister Black go at it on SmackDown Live was classic because it was something that I had already seen at NXT Takeover. And it was also good to see DIY or DYI or however it goes to take on the Bar on SmackDown Live. That was a great matchup to watch up as well. Ricochet was in the ring on SmackDown Live, and I forgot who he took on. No doubt he won his match. I think he did tremendous. I think it was great. So they're planning on getting these stars over there, and then I remember I think I remember something about the Velveteen Dream goes against Johnny Gargano for the North American Championship, and then of course we know the results of that. Johnny Gargano loses the championship over to the Velveteen Dream, which was good because the North American Championship had been with Johnny Gargano for a while, but it's been around with him for, boy, I think it was a month, probably. Since I think the Phoenix Royal Rumble, I believe. It probably wasn't. It probably wasn't a month. Actually, I believe he had the title for maybe 3 weeks, maybe four, depending. I don't know, but I always felt like if Johnny Gargano is going to lose the championship, it needs to happen at WrestleMania, and it needs to be the Velveteen Dream, obviously, and it needs to be at a very big event. So that way Johnny can leave NXT and then show up on the night after WrestleMania, and that should happen. But plans change, things start happening, and they start doing things real quick. And I'm not sure what the process is. I'm not sure what the mindset is as far as you know having the NXT stars show up on Raw and SmackDown. And I guess a big question is which of the stars are they all going to appear on Raw and SmackDown, or say two superstars appear on Raw and two superstars appear on SmackDown? While I agree with Johnny Gargano going to Raw or SmackDown, and I think Aleister Black, I think the same thing. Tommaso Ciampa, the same thing. Ricochet, I think it's too soon. No disrespect to Ricochet. I like him. I think he's a great star. I kind of saw him winning the NXT title in the future because I really wanted to see him win that title before he goes to Raw or SmackDown. I agree with Aleister Black going. I agree with Johnny Gargano going. I agree with Tommaso going. Um, I think if and this is what I think about Tommaso Ciampa. If he loses the championship, if he loses the title and goes to the main roster, he should lose it to Adam Cole. I know some people probably have their own opinions about who he should drop the title to. I think Adam Cole should be the one because I think if that happens, then Adam Cole will not only have the NXT championship, he will be able to control NXT the way he wants to. And then maybe there's a good chance that and this is just what I think, if Adam Cole becomes champion and holds on to the title, the Undisputed Era will probably stay in NXT for a while, control NXT for a while, and then we'll probably see maybe the breakup, maybe the disbandment of Undisputed Era sometime at the end of 2019. Because, I like Adam Cole. I've always felt he should have been NXT champion from the start. He even made a comment about it on TMZ. And I agree with that. I agree with everything he said because he should have been NXT from the start when he showed up. If he wins the title, it will pretty much put him right where he needs to be at, the top guy in NXT, and pretty much make him, what he is with the Undisputed Era. So I agree with I like the NXT stars being there as far as those four individuals go. Like I said, with Ricochet, I'm sorry, the three, Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano and Aleister Black, those three deserve to be in the main roster. Ricochet, on the other hand, doesn't deserve to be there yet. Not that it matters, but I always feel like he should have, like I said, be NXT champion, hold on to the title for a little while longer, and then go to the main roster soon. But if they're going to put him on there, they got to make him a main attraction. They got to make him a champion somehow. Not necessarily the Universal Champion or World Champion. Maybe the Intercontinental Champion or United States Champion. I think that should happen because you got these guys that are going to be top guys, and you got these individuals that are going to be possibly the best in Raw or the best in SmackDown. I think they're going to do whatever they can to bring these superstars in and make them become the number one thing going in Raw or SmackDown. I know that Vince McMahon doesn't agree, or I think at least that's what I've heard, doesn't agree with the NXT stars being there because they don't draw. They don't draw on his view. And as always, Vince McMahon has always had his. He's always the individual who says what draws and doesn't say what draws. And what actually draws is something that I always think Vince McMahon will point at that person and say, that guy's not going to draw a dime. He's not going to draw a crowd. Nobody's going to give a shit about him. And the audience will think differently about that. And if Vince McMahon tries to draw someone that thinks will be the draw and will be the main character to lead this company into greatness, the fans will look at him and say, hey, this dude ain't worth the fucking shit. Triple H has always had his eye on great talent, and that's why he developed the NXT brand. That's why he made it the way it is. That's why you got guys like Tommaso Ciampa, like Aleister Black, like Ricochet, like Johnny Gargano, who are the best at their profession, and now they show up in the main roster and they become the hottest thing going in all of WWE. And it's stars like that that are going to boost ratings. They're not going to boost it all up. They're just going to get it to a point where it's going to be there, and it'll be there for a while until it goes a little higher, depending. But if Vince McMahon, he controls the WWE, he controls what goes on, we all know he's going to mess it up one way or another. But if he understands and knows that these guys are going to become the next big thing on Raw or SmackDown, then he should let it. He should leave it alone. But unfortunately, Vince McMahon talks about change. Vince McMahon talks about how, I think it was Triple H who said that we were the authority when all along they're still the authority, even if we tell them what's good or what's bad,